Hi guys, welcome back to another video and to nearly the end of another year. So what I thought I would do is because I've had so many guitars come and go in this last year, I thought I'd do what are the top 7 that really stand out in my mind that I've filmed over this year. The ones that were a cut above all of the others, and that means there's going to be a lot of good guitars that aren't going to make this list, but I have sat down and given a lot of thought to my top 7. I do have something I want to say at the end of this video for those of you that have watched me along the way. But for anyone just coming to see my top 7 guitars, let's get straight to it. Number 7 then, the DK24, as you just seen. So this one is probably a bit of a surprise if you've watched the channel and you know the sort of guitars and sounds I tend to do. But they've been on my radar for sort of the last couple of years, and I always knew that because I know that they're made in the Mexico Fender factory and I like those guitars, I always knew that for a higher gain, more sort of shreddy, more modern type guitar, that those would appeal to me. The ones without the Floyd Roses, like the one we looked at. And when I got that guitar in, it was everything I wanted it to be. It was that slightly bigger, more comfortable neck, but still compound radius, still modern, still able to set up, with the low action and be really playable sort of thing. And all the hardware on it was just, it was just great. It was top to bottom a great guitar, and that guitar stands out to me, as number 7 on that list. A guitar that I will seek to get for myself at some point when, whenever you catch up on that never-ending list of gear that we all want. So that was number 7. Let's go on to number 6. So yes, number 6 then is the CIJ 1997, I think it was, from memory, 54 Japanese Strat. And before this one, I'd actually had probably 3 or 4 MIJ Strats of various kinds. And some of them, well, a lot of older MIJ Strats, they used to just come with ceramic standard pickups. And they always sort of felt a little bit soulless to me, although the guitars were nicely made. And I couldn't ever quite grasp why the MIJ Strats have the reputation that they have amongst us guitar madheads. And when I filmed that guitar, I completely got it. The guitar screamed character and soul. And even though it was, it wasn't a particularly stunning looking Sunburst Strat, I'm a rosewood board guy that had a maple neck, and it wasn't my ideal Strat, but any of you that saw the video would have seen, like, there was just something in that guitar that made it click for me. And actually, the guy who bought that guitar, Phil, if you're watching, hello, he is a guy that is very much of my wavelength when it comes to what he wants from a guitar. And we did a guitar collection video with him after that, and he has since become, a good friend. And that's part of why I really like the guitar as well, because that's what this channel and guitars is about for me. It's that journey, that people, the stories, and that guitar has to be in at number 6 for those reasons. So let's get on to number 5. There you go then, number 5 is the 1987, very likely made by Paul Reed Smith himself, PRS Custom 24. Now that guitar I haven't done a great deal of vintage guitars throughout this. I have played a lot off camera just on my own, but in terms of the buying and selling stuff, it's, you know, it's a tier above where I've been at. But the reason why this guitar I think makes number 5 is because just imagine for a second you're in the mid to late 80s and you're able to pull out this guitar that is beautifully made, that can do more than like it's every guitar in one, and it genuinely does it. And you all know I'm not a fan of versatility, but when something can do it that well, and the time frame it was in, you know, I just think that it's quite something, and definitely not something to be sort of, you know, overlooked. And because again I'm a rosewood guy, that Brazilian rosewood fingerboard, if you guys out there haven't tried a proper Brazilian rosewood fingerboard and you like rosewood, I promise you it's a different calibre of feel. And that guitar had it, and a few Brazilian rosewood boards that I've played have it. There's a certain texture and waxiness and feel that they have that is above everything, and well worth, you know, if you can get one, then get one, because it's amazing. So that is guitar number 5. Let's move on to guitar number 4. So there you go then, that is number 4, the PRS Silver Sky SE. And those guitars only came out this year, and I would love to know how many have been sold since they came out. And I would say that it's probably easily the most popular guitar of this year. I mean, it's been everywhere. And since those videos went out, the price, you know, the top new price, has fallen quite a lot. They're coming in now at either 6 or 7-ish. And I think that if you're after a new 60s type Fender Strat, which is what it is, I think that that is very, very difficult to beat. It's a guitar that lives up to all of its hype. And the subtle changes that it does have compared to, say, a modern Mexico 60s Strat type guitar, you know, that slightly thinner up top, bigger at bottom neck, the slightly bigger than vintage frets, all of that is everything I want in a Stratocaster. And, you know, the headstock for me, I'm still not a huge fan of that 3x3 design on those, but it's something you can just get over. I don't really like how the nuts are fitted on the SE Silver Skies either, but again, you know, that level of resolution, it's things you can look over, because the guitars are amazing and they really actually live up to the hype. And I have to put that in as number 4 in this video. So we're on to the final 3 then, let's do it. Yeah, number 3 had to be the Eastman T59V. 1 year ago, or just over a year ago, I had the T486, and you know, I actually think that guitar gets way closer to this than I thought it would. I think you're not underserved by having that one instead of this one. But although this particular guitar had the nut issue, if you saw the video, and actually it has a couple of other smaller little issues which we'll look at later on when I do my you know, 3-month review. But the sound of this guitar is so inspiring. I play something new every single time I plug it in, and I feel like I learn something every time I plug it in. And it's a guitar that I've learned absolutely responds best to sort of, you know, minimal finger style sort of playing. And I'm absolutely loving, you know, just figuring out where I can take this thing. And I just know that the next guitar that didn't have these small little issues was, you know, is going to be even better. So it has to be in the number 3 slot of guitars that I've played and filmed this year. So let's get on to number 2. So there you go then, number 2, the 2015 Mexican 60s Road Worn. Now this guitar, or these guitars in general, they're getting harder and harder to find, and every time they do come up they're always more expensive, and for good reason, because if you look at the way Fender is structured now, if you want a rosewood fingerboard guitar, a nitro finish, classic colours and medium jumbo frets, you have to buy a custom shop Strat. That is the only place you will find that guitar, short of building your own, like I did with this one, you know, to get that spec. And yet, in 2015, you could go and buy this Mexican reissue guitar, you know, Road Worn guitar, and it has all of that. It has all of it. There is literally nothing I would change on those guitars. And for me, and it's got the Fender name, it's a proper Strat, you know, the proper headstock, it's everything you would want. And it has the medium jumbo frets, which are my favourite on a Strat. So for me, that guitar has to be in second place, and if you can find one, they're only going up in value and they are well worth tracking down to find. So that's it then, we are down to number 1, and this one might surprise you. There you go, you might be quite surprised by that if you've been watching, you know, throughout the year, that a Telecaster would be my number 1 guitar of all the guitars that I've played on this channel. And that exact guitar belongs to a good friend of mine, and I still get to play it. And every time I pick it up, I feel like re-vindicated in my thoughts of it. It never wears off. And like for me, I want a Telecaster to have that raunchy Les Paul-esque bridge, that chicken picking country twang brightness in the middle, but I want the neck to be as stratty as possible, because that is the best of Fender to me, all in one guitar. And the Jason Isbell takes those boxes, puts a massive black tick in it and says, yeah, you know, I can do that, no problem. And also the rosewood on the fingerboard that they seem to use on those guitars, they've proper stepped it up. It's some of the nicest new, you know, Mexican fingerboards that I've ever seen. And, you know, just from a looks point of view as well, that sunburst double bound 60s custom, for me, a white one's pretty close, but that is the ultimate. And that guitar is way high up on my list of things that I want to get for myself, especially after a recent Telecaster disaster that I haven't talked about yet on the channel. But yeah, honestly, I've sat and thought about it, and that guitar, that Isbell Custom, it sits at the top of all the guitars that I've played in terms of what I have been genuinely, properly impressed with. And I would love to know what your thoughts are on that list, for one, and what you have, you know, maybe if you've watched quite a while, which one you've enjoyed the most. But that is number 1. So I just want to end the video really as just having a chat with the people that have watched this channel over the year, you know, and seeing what's been going on. And for me, this year has been all about putting my neck out there as honestly and as plainly as possible, and playing as many different types of guitars as possible, trying to see the whole buying and selling thing, if that'll work out, and just doing it for the love of it. Buying guitars that I might not really want, but just to experience them, and it's just been a mad year. If I look at the guitars I've played hundreds of guitars, and about, I don't know, 90 of them have been filmed. And it's just been all about that, pursuing that passion and love of guitars. And going forward now on the channel, I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a step back from that and focusing really on things that I really enjoy, and not just, it's hard to explain what I mean. Like, I there's a fine line when you're doing this sort of thing of like buying and selling guitars, and then it becomes buying and selling guitars, or experiencing and sharing guitars and still loving playing and just enjoying the passion side of it. And I'm at a crossroads. I can either focus solely on buying and selling and just churning and churning, and that's going to affect my love for the guitar, and I'm choosing the other path. I want to just still focus a lot more on the things I love about guitar, focus on more of the people that surround, what we're all like. It's everyone's got their own thing, and I'm way more interested in that. And going forward on the channel, it's going to be much more about that than it is as many different guitars as possible. But for those that have been here all along, I just wanted to say, like, I appreciate it. I really do. This is still a small channel, and the mileage and money and effort that I've put into getting this channel to this stage, isn't reflected in the size of the channel. It's just not. But, the point is, thank you anyway. Thanks for being there. Thanks for watching. And any of you that have bought guitars off me, over this last 12 months, thank you as well, because that enabled, the things to keep sort of moving. But there is going to be a change of direction. So just at the end of that video, for those of you that have been sticking around, I just wanted to say that to you, and hopefully that made some sort of sense, because this is, again, as usual, top of the head, as it is kind of thing. To finish then, I reckon it is cool to sort of say which guitars I'm looking forward to of 2023. And yesterday, or the day before, the PRS SE DGT got announced as a thing. And I've said on a few PRS videos that that is the SE that I've been wanting to see. So for me in 2023, that guitar is probably the one I'm going to get first, the one I'm going to try and get first. I'm proper keen on seeing what that guitar's like, because the DGT is my ideal PRS. It has those subtle changes that make it more sort of vintage, more sort of Gibson-like, but with PRS's know-how, and that's perfect for me. So if they can filter that down into the SE, that's the thing I'm most keen to see. So yeah, let me know what you want to see in 2023 in terms of what's on your hit list, and I'll be down in the comments having a big nerdy chat about guitars as always. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you on another video.